And some of the stuff regarding the mindset, it has skill, inside of it. We talked about that. It's like, this is a skill, that's a skill. But success is the combination of mindset and skill set. Not half and half, probably 80% mindset, 20% skill set. And sales and marketing is a skill set. No matter what it is you guys do in the room, now that I understand what you guys do in the room, sales 100% applies to all of you, marketing applies to most of you. Right? So you're either even if you're a nonprofit, you're selling. Even if you're in, you're drumming, you're selling. You're always selling at some point. I'm going to go through a lot of sales strategies that are extremely useful but tangible. Implement things you can implement right now, and I hope you get one of them. But before we do that, we're going to talk about branding. We're going to talk about taking yourself, making yourself different, making yourself distinct, making yourself stand out. And one of the things that I'm excited for you guys is, Ray is the person that not only did the branding for Millionaire Immersion, he's also doing the branding for myself personally. He'll eventually do the branding for Ashley once we're done that. So this is the person I personally use, and Ray falls into those 4 buckets. If I want to grab somebody and work with them, they got to be hungry, right? They got to be hungry. They got to have capacity. They got to be loyal, and we got to have alignment, of values. And this guy is driven, right? He's always working. I love it. Always working on something. Always trying to get better. Always trying to improve. Always a constant student, growth, development, relationships. So this is a person that I know is going to be a very successful multi-millionaire in whatever direction he finally goes with marketing and sales, etc. I'm happy to have him on board running all sales and marketing for Immersion, but this is the person that creates ours. So he's got a really great niche. I think it's anytime somebody has a personal brand that you've got to differentiate yourself from other people, a personality brand, right? Personality brand is different than a company brand. It's you, the personality. How do we make you different? And he's the person that I'm looking at when in this niche, saying, hey, there's nobody better doing this. And I've referred multiple people over to him to use the services because I use the services. And if it makes sense to you, use them as well. I think a couple of you guys in the room already do. So with that, let's shift gears. Let's unscrew everything we've been doing from working on your mind, working on your mind, working on your mind. Let's shift gears and let's talk about the skills. I think we'll play a video. I'm going to trigger this video so you guys can see not only who he is, but a little bit of his work as well. 1 second.
Oh, there's no volume. It's on the TV.
No volume?
TV volume?
That's going to be computer volume.
It looks like your computer volume's off.
Yeah.
Tight. Because every time I go like this, you see?
It's a beautiful video, though. Yeah. How many of these are videos that you're running?
Oh, this is the only one.
Okay.
But it's not the only one.
Sorry, what we'll do is
If you can fix it, we'll be good. If not, I'll go ahead and start.
I'll intro you, Ray, and then what I'll do is let's play this at the somewhere in the middle where you're going through your videos. I've got computer speakers I'll just plug in. So guys, do me a favor, let's reset your mind by moving up your bottom. Stand up, give a big round of applause to my brother, my Millionaire Immersion partner, Mr. Ray Perez. Give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up.
Hi guys, can you hear me loud and clear?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm as loud as Nick, but thank you so much for having me. I feel really blessed to not only be in a room with such amazing entrepreneurs, but also that Nick gives me the space to actually speak to you guys on what I'm very passionate about, what I love, and it just happens to be my business. So every day I tell people I don't actually work because I enjoy what I do, and for me, it's just living my life. So I can meet with you guys on a Sunday and talk about your business and marketing for 10, 15 hours, and that was a great Sunday for me. So I'm very happy to be able to share this stuff with you. So if he gets it working, we'll watch the video. If not, it's fine with me.
I got computer speakers, take about 5 minutes.
No problem. So I want to share with you guys a little bit about my background and how I kind of got into the world of branding and marketing, if that's okay with you guys.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I went to FIU here in Miami. I'm actually originally from LA, but I moved here when I was about 14 years old. So I've grown up in Miami. I'm a Miami boy now. And I was studying marketing and business when I was in college. And then I had the opportunity to help out a friend promote a party at, back then, Senior Frogs on South Beach. So I was in a fraternity, I knew a lot of people, I was relatively popular, so that look, I got this gig, they're gonna pay me $4 per person that comes in, plus a percentage of the bar. If you help me bring people, I'll pay you, blah, blah, blah. I said, okay, sure, I'll do it. I had like 80 people show up that first night, and I made $800 cash between the bar and the cover charges. In one night, just from inviting people to a party. So sure enough, I was like, I just found my new business, right? I'm in, sold. So little by little, I started getting more and more and more into the marketing and to the promotions of clubs in South Beach, and I turned that into an entire business. I started This Is Nightlife Entertainment in 2003, bought the name from a friend that was trying to do some online magazine back then. Remember, back in 2003, there was no Facebook, there was no MySpace, there was nothing what we have now. So he was trying to do this online nightlife entertainment magazine. I said, look, I'll buy the name from you. I think I paid him 150 bucks. This is Nightlife Entertainment, and I made it into a production company. So I started promoting different clubs, different venues. Back then, it wasn't like it is now, where promoters work for the nightclub. And they get a table, they might get a couple $100, and if they sell some bottles, they get a percentage. Back then is, I got the whole club. I had the front door, I collected every dollar that came in, and once the bar hit a certain number, I got a percentage. So I had the opportunity to make thousands and thousands of dollars just in one night. So it was very different than it is today. But with that being said, came a lot more responsibility on my part. Because right now, what the club takes care of is what I used to have to do. I used to book the dancers, I used to book the DJ, I used to figure out, are we doing any special effects, are we doing any fashion show? So all of that came into the whole world of the marketing and promotional planning. Now, once the big nightclubs started figuring out what the smaller guys were doing, and they kind of sucked up all the competition, I got out of the nightlife industry. Because I wasn't interested in going to bed at 7 o'clock in the morning and sleeping all day. It just wasn't my life. I love putting the parties together. I love showing people an amazing time. Hospitality is something that I'm passionate about. And it was great money. But the nightlife industry wasn't my thing. So, around that same time, my uncle had a pretty successful business. He was doing around $400,000 or $500,000 in the dealership arena. He helped people become licensed car dealers in the state of Florida. And he said, look, I really need some help marketing. I know you're really good. Can you help me? I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. So I started helping him do that, plus a couple other businesses. And sure enough, I realized that the same exact skills that I was doing to get people to a party was the same thing I can do to get people to a business, get them to a website, or get them to an event like this. So that's how I launched AMP Concepts in 2006, which stands for Advertising, Marketing, Promotional Concepts. Now it's AMP Productions, because really what I do more is a whole production. I pull the concept, I put the ideas into play, I create all the branding and marketing material, and then I actually produce it and put it into action. So now it's AMP Productions, and at this point in time, what we specialize in is digital branding and social proof marketing. I'll get into details on what social proof marketing is in a little while, but specifically in digital branding, like Nick said, my preference and what I feel is my biggest passion in my niche is working with personality-driven businesses. So for those of you guys who don't know what a personality-driven business, I ask 3 questions. Who does the selling in your business? Who works with the clients or the customers? And who's the face of your business? If the answer is you to all 3 of those, you're a personality-driven business. Doesn't matter what industry you're in. So what I teach people is how to brand yourself, not only the company. Clearly you need to brand your company as well, but some people try to hide behind the company and try to make the company the star and try to only brand the company. What they don't realize is we're not AT&T. We're not McDonald's and Coca-Cola. We're small business owners, and people like to do business with people they like, know, and trust. Which is the reason that everything I do when it comes to personality-driven business branding has to do with creating those 3 things. Create credibility, create trust, and an expert authority status. Why? Because people want to do business not with a generalist, they want to do it with a specialist or someone that's an expert in that particular arena. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
They don't disagree with anything that I'm saying. Excellent. So one of the things that has made me very successful in what I do is when I market and when I sell, I think about everything that I'm doing, I practice it on myself first, and once I perfect it, then I teach others to do the same thing, and then I sell that service. So everything that I'm going to show you, everything I'm going to teach you, I've been doing over the last 15 years. And I've gone through trial and error, and I've gone through hundreds of thousands of dollars to figure this stuff out, and I'm going to teach you how to do the same in a very short amount of time. And for those of you guys who don't have the time, I actually have a service to do it for you as well. Yes?
Question. The 3 things you need in order to have your own brand is what again?
No. To know if you're a personality-driven business is, do you do the sale? Who does the sales? Who works with the customer, the client, who's the interaction, who's the face of the business. That means you're a personality-driven business. But what you want to create for your brand is trust, credibility, and expert authority status. Those are the three things that your brand, whether it's personal or whether it is your company, those are the three things you want to create, because let's be honest, that's what people gravitate towards, because we're all human beings. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how big your company is, people still are people and they do business with people. And I'm going to give you a quick example so you don't take my word for it. Back in the day, McDonald's was the first franchise, fast food franchise that came out. After a couple years, one of their competitors started digging into market share. That competitor had a person directly connected to the brand. Therefore, McDonald's had to create Ronald McDonald. Does anyone know who that competitor was?
KFC.
Nope. Close though.
It wasn't Burger King?
Come on, guys. Wendy's.
Oh, yeah.
Who's the owner of Wendy's? Wait. Does anyone not know who the owner of Wendy's is? You don't? Well, maybe you guys are from Europe, so. Dave Thomas. Dave Thomas is the owner of Wendy's, and still to today, if you walk in Wendy's, he doesn't eat fast food, so he wouldn't know. But when you walk into Wendy's, you're going to see a picture of Dave Thomas, and he named the franchise after his daughter, Wendy. So think about that. His daughter is the icon, and he was in every single commercial, every single marketing. He was the face of Wendy's. And it was such a devastating blow to McDonald's that that's how they invented and brought out Ronald McDonald. Obviously, Burger King has the king, KFC has the Colonel, which is also the founder. But if you realize it, all of them are connected to a person. Think about the Verizon commercial, which is actually now the Sprint guy. He did, yeah, and there's awesome commercials too. Think about perfumes, right? I don't think J-Lo and Britney Spears invented any perfume between you and I. But what happened is, some guy got smart, offered them several millions of dollars or a certain percentage, and said, if I connect you with this perfume and we put your name on it as a person, people are going to buy this. Does this make sense? How people in big booming industries and companies are always connected to the success and to the growth and how people want to buy from them. Last one. Does anyone know the #1 best-selling Nike shoe of all time?
Jordan.
You didn't even say Nike. It's the Jordans, or the Air Force Jordans, or the Air Jordans, right? You don't even refer to the company's name. It's the man's name that we still talk about and that we know about. Why? Because it's directly connected to an athlete. And let's be honest, LeBron James and all the other shoes that they have connected to athletes sell more than any Nike shoe they ever have. Now, let's be honest, what is the difference between the Air Jordan and the other amazing Nike Air shoe that just has the swoosh on it? What's the difference in the quality, in the craftsmanship, in anything at all? Right? That makes you think, right? It's the little symbol that is connected to a person. So I share this with you guys because I want you to realize that you guys are the Michael Jordan of your brand. You guys are the Dave Thomas of your company. But most entrepreneurs, smaller business owners, and when I say small business owners, I mean 10 million and under a year, an annual gross sales, a small business. People don't put themselves out there. Is anyone in this room putting themselves out there like the celebrity in their business right now? Well, yeah, you don't count because I did your job there. Okay, you're in the process of doing that now. And you are in network marketing, so it's kind of, you got to do that, right? But this is where I'm going to really draw the line in the sand between just putting yourself out there and putting yourself out there with a trustworthy, credible, authoritative brand. This is where the difference will be made, because the people that are gravitated to someone that is trustworthy, credible, and authority are the better caliber people you're looking for. And what they're not gravitating towards is someone that's wishy-washy, someone that is not having a solid brand, someone that doesn't have a solid message. And I want you guys, as I'm speaking, I want you to think about what you guys do in your everyday life and how you analyze other people. Because exactly what you do is what others are doing to you. So have you guys ever met someone or got an email from someone that you're doing business with or you're potentially wanting to do business with, and you looked them up on Facebook to check them out?
Yep.
Has anybody done that before? All right, cool. Guilty as charged. So think about that for 1 second. If you're doing it, they're doing it to you. Which begs me to ask you the question, if I were to search all of your Facebooks right now, would I feel that you are trustworthy, credible, and an expert in the current business or company that you guys represent? How many of you guys feel that you're, because I'm going to pull you guys up right now on the computer and check that case. How many of you guys feel that you have that brand? If I checked you out, I'd be like, check, 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 check. Yeah, okay, this guy checks out. Good to go. Besides you. All right, so that is the goal. That is the goal of what I do with people. Because here's the deal. People will check you out. They will feel that there's inconsistencies. And I'll say inconsistencies because how many of you guys have multiple social medias? Okay, great. How many of every single one of your cover photos match consistently with all the social medias? Okay, got it. And it's just one image though that you have, right? Okay. Got it. So think about this for 1 second. Someone goes on your Facebook, and a lot of you guys have websites that have your social media icons or some way for people to connect with you on social media, correct? Because that's part of the new way of doing business. So now people are clicking on your Facebook, they're clicking on your Instagram, your Twitter, whatever it is, and they're checking you out. And here you got a picture on a boat or a yacht and having fun. Here's another one in some different event, and here's you shaking hands. There's inconsistencies in all of them. What does that do for people? If there's inconsistencies, you automatically lose credibility. Now, this isn't conscious loss of credibility. They're not sitting there saying, wait a second, he's on a yacht there and a boat there. This guy's not credible. That's not what's happening. But imagine if you guys walked into your neighborhood supermarket, and everybody's from different places, so here it's Publix, and the whole store was backwards. Like just completely different. Because right now, if you walk into a Publix, it's pretty much the same wherever you go. Imagine if you walked in there, you'd be like, what the fuck, right? Like this is weird, you'd feel awkward, and for a moment, you'd be like, something's wrong with this Publix. Now that wouldn't mean you're not gonna shop there, that wouldn't mean you wouldn't go and pay and do what you're gonna do, but for a moment, that Publix just lost credibility with you. You guys agree, disagree? This is the same thing that's happening with your brand every time someone checks you out and you have inconsistencies across the board. This is what happened, a little notch gets crossed off saying this guy's not as credible as either I thought, as he pitched me, as his email looked, as his website did. And social media, if you like it or not, is a very, very intricate part of the way that we socialize nowadays and the way that business people research other people they're going to do business with. Unfortunately, I wish that wasn't the truth because I'm not big on social media. I feel exactly the same way that Nick does, but I've realized that if you have not properly set up all your social medias to represent who you want to be in business, you're going to start losing that credibility across the board. No one's going to call you up and say, hey, I was considering doing business with you, but I've been checking you out, and I kind of feel like I'm just kind of wishy-washy, so I'm going to hold off for now. That's not going to happen. So it's your responsibility when people check you out, they look up the Facebook, okay, he looks good, look at Twitter, he looks good, all right, okay, this guy's good to go, I'm going to give him a call, I feel comfortable moving forward. Because that's as quickly as it's going to go. It's like walking into a bathroom in a very high-end restaurant. If the bathroom's completely clean, you go in, you wash your hands, and you leave, and nothing happens. But if you walk into that bathroom, there's paper towels everywhere, there's one toilet that's, you know, they just dropped the bomb and it hasn't been flushed, and you're going to leave there being like, man. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to leave the restaurant and you're not going to eat, but that restaurant just lost credibility for you, correct?
Oh yeah.
This is the exact same thing that's happening to you on your social medias when people are checking you out. If it's perfect, they're going to check it out, they're going to leave, they're going to move on, they're not going to think of it twice, and they're going to move forward to consider doing business with you. If you're inconsistent, they're going to continue to check you out, and your credibility is just going to go down a little notch, and now you're going to have to work harder to gain the rapport, to gain the trust and credibility, which we all know is the #1 step in any sales process. It's like the encyclopedia and dictionary sales guy way back in the day. They used to come into the house, sit at the dinner table, and they used to have a whole conversation about your family and build that rapport before they try to sell you this whole thing of encyclopedias. It's like any of us do in any type of business transaction. That's why we have lunches, and that's why we go out to dinners. We wine and dine people, because we're trying to build that connection, that relationship, prior to trying to get them to buy from us. Now, I will agree that some people go straight to trying to sell, and those people are usually not that effective unless they're the type of people that just say, hey, do you want to buy? Hey, do you want to buy? Just go through enough people that they actually close a sale. But the reality is, can everyone agree in this room that it is required for you to build some type of rapport and relationship with the people you're trying to sell to?
Yes.
Would you feel that if you had a stronger rapport, a stronger connection, and these people really, really were interested in doing business with you before you even had a conversation with them, that it would help you with the sale of your business?
Of course.
That's exactly what I'm going to teach you guys how to do today. My goal is before you actually have a conversation with that person, for them to have gone through a process that obviously I will teach and explain to you how to follow, for them to already have put you up here on the level of trust, credibility, and expert authority status. Because then when you have the phone call, they're already open to doing business with you. I run a lot of coaching groups, masterminds, and that's kind of what that video was going to show. And I teach everyone, do not try to sell your product or service to anyone. What I want you to do is learn how to get people to want to do business with you. I'm going to repeat that again. Do not try to sell your product or service to anyone. Your goal is to get them to want to do business with you. Because in the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you're selling. If they feel that you personally are trustworthy, are credible, and an expert at whatever it is that you do, they will buy whatever it is that you're selling. And how many people here have had multiple businesses and have sold different products, different services, right? So it could be one thing today, in 5 years it could be something different. So your goal is not to push the product. If they have a need for the product or for the service, or if they have interest, that part's done already. You don't need to do that. It has to do with you, because people like to do business with people they like, know, and trust. The other statement that I love, and it's so true, is that people love to buy, but they hate to be sold. And I'll give you an example, and Mike and Chris were talking to me about it. Groupon, Amazon, the Wish app. How many people have been on those apps and, oh my God, that's such a great deal, click, adding to the shopping cart, maybe at the end you drop a couple off the shopping cart, saving for later. How many people have done that and just buying away? And then sometimes you buy something that you didn't really even need, or you're probably never even going to use, but it was a great deal and you're impulsive and you buy it. Do you know why? Because we love to buy. As human beings, inherently, we love to buy. We are looking to buy all the time. So you don't have to worry about that with your prospects. What you have to worry about is that no one likes to be sold. You do not want them to feel whatsoever that you're trying to sell to them. But if you want them to buy from you, you have to make sure that they feel you're trustworthy, you're credible, and you're an expert. Because that's who people want to buy from. Now, does this make sense for everybody?
Yes.
All right, so now I'm going to get into how we do this. And Ty, if you can help me. Oh, awesome. So I'm going to show you how I create expert authority brands for my clients, how I get it omnipresent across all digital media. When I say digital, social media is a big part, but you obviously have your website, you obviously have emails, and you obviously have text messaging. That's all digital. So I help you get your brand across all those digital medias, make sure everything is consistent. So one of the major things that people think of when they talk about branding, and Jason knows more than anybody because we actually work together with a branding company that I was a part of, a partner of mine. They think design. When I talk about branding, when I think about branding, it's not just about design. Design is a part of it. The colors, the way that things are laid out, the pictures, the design, that's a part of it. But what's more important when it comes to branding is language. And written language is called copy. Copy is one of the most important pieces of anyone's brand and anyone's marketing. I will take very good copy and shitty design over amazing design and shitty copy any day of the week. Now, me personally, I like to have both amazing, but that's just because I'm a perfectionist. But if I had to choose, copy is more important. And I'll give another example. Video. You can have the most HD, amazing quality, 3D, it's jumping out at you touching video, but if there's no audio, What's the point? Or if there's bad audio, we're gonna stop watching it and it's done. But if the picture went out completely, but we can hear what they're saying, we would have still listened to that entire video. Audio, copy, is way more important than visual. And I want you guys to understand that, because if you're spending a lot of time trying to make something look amazing, it's good that you are. I'm a proponent of it because everything that I do, I believe looks amazing, and that's what I strive for. But I'd rather you spend 10 times the amount of your effort and time on making sure the language and the copy in your marketing is on point. Because if it's not, I don't care how amazing your design is, you're not going to be effective in your conversions and your sales. Is it clear to everybody? Okay, so when we talk about copy, we're going to talk about two main things when it comes to your brand. And that has to do with your, what I call your expert title and your USP. Does anyone not know what a USP is? Unique selling proposition. And your USP is what separates you from the competition. So an expert title is who you are. A USP is what you do. Now when I say what you do, I don't mean like, for example, can I use this as an example? You know, Jason throws amazing events on cruise ships. That's what he does. But what are the results that his clients get from going on that amazing party on a cruise ship? So Jason throws amazing events that create valuable connections for people, long-lasting memories, and a lifetime experience that they would have never had on the open seas. That's a USP. Hope you wrote that one down.
Yeah.
Why? Because everyone in this room and everyone that you guys potentially work with or want to work with are only interested in one thing. WIFM. What's in it for me? That is all they care about. Now, it doesn't mean that they don't care about anybody else or anything else, but that's the only thing that matters when you're writing a USP or when you're writing copy or when you're doing marketing. Have you guys ever been to, has anyone not been to a networking event? Okay, great. So has anyone been to a networking event where you meet someone and they're like, hey, I'm so-and-so, I'm so-and-so. Hey, so tell me, so what do you do? Because that's kind of the number one question we all ask each other when we're at a networking event, right? What do you do? And the person just starts going, wah, 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 and then you're just like, oh my God. And as soon as they're done, amazing, so good to meet you, I'm out. Does that ever happen to anybody? That's because that person's not clear on what their USP is. So what did they actually do? They just vomited all over you, lost your credibility, lost your trust, and you have no interest, because you know they're not an expert for sure, in doing business with them. Now, this doesn't mean you will never do business with them, but they're going to have to work really hard to build that trust level and that rapport with you to be able to actually do business with you. Does that make sense for everybody? Has that ever been anybody in this room? Don't be shy. My goal today, hopefully, and what I do as my company is I help people create clear, defined USPs and marketing messages so that never happens. So when I introduce myself and I'm at that networking event, people shake my hand and they say, what do you do? I said, my name is Ray Perez. I'm a branding and marketing expert. I specialize in personality-driven businesses. I create digital designs and multimedia marketing content using social proof to create trust and credibility so we can increase leads and more sales. That's it. 15 seconds, maybe 20 seconds if I really take my time. Never gonna pass 20 seconds. And 20 seconds is a long time. Now, what I wait for, quietly, really tell me how that works. Now they've given me permission to answer a question that they had interest in, opposed to me just giving them all this information that they didn't give me permission to give them in the first place. They just asked me what I do. They didn't ask me to explain all of this. So that allows me now to engage, and next thing you know, I got a 20, 30-minute conversation, and this person's a potential business client for me. Now, there's more steps in the process. I also give them my digital business card. I have a pre-made text message that I send them when I send them my digital business card. I have a follow-up message with a mobile marketing card that has a video for them to watch. And there's a whole sequence, which I'm going to explain to you guys how to do, because every step in this process, from that first initial meeting, is to build trust and credibility, build trust and credibility, build trust and credibility. No sale, no sale, no sale. Because by the time we have a real meeting and a real conversation, there is no doubt to them whatsoever, this is the guy I want to do business with. What his prices are and what his services are, I have no idea, but I know I want to do business with this guy. Because he's the real deal. And it never fails. Now, whether they have the funds to do business with me or not, that's a completely different story. But I've never had a person that meets with me that is not wanting my services, 1,000%. Which also is my big key takeaway is the people that I'm presenting to and I'm spending my time sharing my services with need to be the right caliber of people. Otherwise, I'm wasting my time. And it's not that I'm wasting my time on them, they're just not ready. Like, certain people cannot be in this room because they're just not at a level in their business to be able to absorb the wealth of information that Nick is sharing. I think we all can understand that by now. It's the same thing with what I do. If you're not ready to dive into the entire process from creating an entire expert authority brand and implementing a social proof marketing campaign, then don't do it. Because you're only going to get one piece of the puzzle and it's not going to work. Okay? So this is my website, expertauthoritybranding.com. I'm going to go down to the experts. Oh, look at that guy right there. Look familiar, anyone? All right, so the first thing that I just kind of want to squash in the room is everybody's like, wait a second, they all look the same. I don't want my stuff to look the same as anybody else's. That's initially what you think, of course, because I have them all next to each other. But none of these people are in the same industries. None of these people live close to each other, so their stuff's never going to be next to each other. So I explain this because everything in the way that I design, everything in the way that I create these expert brands is for a reason. The positioning of the text, the way that it's written out, the size of it, the colors, all of that has a marketing purpose behind it. So that's why they all look similar. Now, the other thing people sometimes say is like, well, it's just like a template. If anybody knows anything about design, this is no template. Because this guy has a different cutout that we have to do. This guy's got a different cutout. Everybody's name's a different size because it's a different length. The whole thing is custom designed to the person and to their brand. But there has to be brand consistency, otherwise we lose that credibility and authority we're talking about. So actually, I'm just going to use Mike so we can pick on him because he's in here. And I'm going to go into his digital branding package. And everybody knows, well, Mike, before you were in my mastermind, before we did your branding, when I asked you what you do, what would you say? Think back, think back.
Like you said, I would just say I'm a real estate investor, but then I would have to explain the whole process.
Yeah, well, what he used to say is I'm a realtor and I do some investments. That's what he used to say. He doesn't even remember because if so, I've been making him repeat that he is a real estate investment specialist because that's his expert title. I mean, he's still a realtor. That hasn't changed. But it's the way that we position him that makes the difference when he meets people. I'm a real estate investment specialist. Ooh, that sounds sexy. I'm a realtor that does some investing, doesn't. So your expert title is very, very important. Now, everything that I'm saying applies to about 90, maybe 92% of businesses. I know that there's some businesses and some people that this might not apply to, but I think for the majority of you guys, this does apply. I don't think anybody in this room doesn't apply to. So expert title is number one. Expert title needs to explain what it is that you do in the title. It needs to create some clarity, and you want it to leave people asking to learn more. So how many of you guys actually have some type of expert title already? Go for it. Is that a sexy expert title? You got a title, definitely. Like the same way he was a real estate agent that does investing, but it's not an expert title, right? So my goal is not only to give you a lot of information, my goal is to actually help you leave here with something that you can implement in your business. So why don't we kind of dive in a little, just for a couple minutes and see if we can find out a better expert title for Jennifer. So tell me again, what's your title? Okay. We're getting there. What kind of loans do you work with? Okay. Which
one do you want the most? Sorry, because I I do the same thing as her, and
Bring it, brother, bring it.
So my LinkedIn says high net worth and global mortgage specialist. Guess what? I never get a call for a $100,000 loan. Ever.
Now, if he did, doesn't mean he won't take it, because this is, I mean, maybe he won't, but maybe you guys can connect and he'll refer to you. But here's really important, because I'm glad he said that. I'm going to discuss about niching. Does anyone not know what a niche is? Okay, the riches are in the niches. And he, in his expert title, created a niche for himself. Now, a lot of people are scared to create a niche because they feel if I become the niche for this one area, I'm going to lose business with all these other people I can be doing business with. Now, that might have some validity to it, but I'm going to tell you right now, if you find the people who you prefer to work with and that can produce the highest return for you, and you go after that niche with your marketing, you're going to be more desired by everybody, and your marketing is going to be speaking directly to those people. So now that he knows who his niche is, all the marketing language, all the copy will be speaking directly to them. So when his target market sees one of his marketing materials, they go, this guy's for me. And that's where it creates that expert authority status, where the connection between I'd rather do business with an expert or a specialist than with a generalist. That's why when you go to the doctor, you need that note and that prescription to go see the specialist. Why? Because he's up here and that regular doctor's down here. And we want to do business with the people up here. And we want to position everyone in this room as up here. Now, if someone does happen to give him a call and say, I have a $100,000 loan, he gets to choose if he does. And typically, what I would say is, look, this is not what we specialize in. We specialize in minimum $750,000 to $1 million loans. I can see if I can see one of my loan analysts to do me the favor and help you out. You know, I want to help you, but he gets to make that call. He gets to make that decision. And he can turn it away, or he can actually take it. It's not like you're going to lose the business. But definitely, say it again. Do you want to read it?
I have to read
Now I'm going to use Paulo as an example. He doesn't even know his own expert title.
Okay. So mine is high net worth and global mortgage specialist.
Perfect.
High net worth.
High net worth and global mortgage specialist. So you might not use global because in Chicago you might not do a lot of foreign nationals. But if you want jumbo, you got to call them out.
So take out the global, and you want to try that title on high net worth.
High net worth mortgage specialist.
Mortgage specialist.
See the last word that he used?
Special.
High. So say it again.
High net worth mortgage specialist. Yeah.
So hi Jennifer. What is it that you do?
I'm a high net worth mortgage specialist.
Way sexier, right? Yeah. Thank you for that, and thank you, Paulo. Now,
Reaction was awesome. Yeah.
now here's the most important part. When you create your expert title and you're happy with it and you got that sexy title, you need to learn it. It needs to become who you are. Because unfortunately, he meets someone at a networking event. What do you say now?
What do you mean?
He doesn't pull out his LinkedIn and say, wait a second.
So that goes to show I don't go networking.
I hate networking. I'm like this. I'm totally like him. I hate networking. But if you introduce someone to me, I'll spend hours talking to them. But I hate networking. All right. So does everyone get the importance of having an expert title, expert authority title? Clear? Anybody need help on that? After throughout today, tomorrow, if you guys need help on it, feel free to come up to me and I'll brainstorm with you guys.
Well, I just have to say thank you so much because I just branched out to California, so my license should be active there in a couple
National, not global, but national.
months. Yeah, well, I'm in Texas, Wisconsin.
You're national. You're in 2 states. You're national. That's it.
Yeah.
High net worth national.
Yeah.
Mortgage.
So if you get, how many loans is it going to take to pay for your fee to be here? One. Exactly.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
this is exactly why you go to events.
Yeah.
It's the complete intangible, unexplainable.
Yeah.
He gave me no rational reason to be here, but I made a decision from a gut level that something was going to happen here that I needed, and it's already has. But you just had it.
Yeah. And the best part is this. I mean, the next couple months can yield you X, right? How about the next couple years, right? Something that I'm working on seeing if Nick will allow me to do let people come back to future events or have some discounted rate where you guys can dive in here 6 months from now and do a refresher course, because there's going to be a lot of stuff, just like Tyrone, that you're going to not be able to remember, not be able to absorb. And you're going to go to work for the next 6 months, but then you need that reboot and then just take the next 6 months by storm. So that's something that hopefully Nick will allow me to offer to you guys. But so next thing we're going to move on is to the USP, unique selling proposition. How many people in this room actually have a USP? How many people have a USP and don't know it?
I pretty much know it.
You do have a USP because your USP is right here. Investing in the relationship as much as the properties. What do you guys think about that?
Say that again?
Okay, so Mike is a real estate investment specialist. He invests in the relationships as much as the properties. What does that say to you?
Nobody cares how much you know, how much you care.
And that's important because what we all care about is the relationship we have with people. That's why, I mean, think about this. Whenever you have any maintenance problem in your house whatsoever, refrigerator, AC, plumber, whatever, what's the first thing we do?
Call Nick.
Not. We ask some friends or we post something on Facebook because we want our friends to recommend us someone, right? Because we, for some reason, and I guess maybe the millennials, it's less and less because they'll go on Google and they'll do some searching because technology is just becoming more part of our life. But realistically, we'd rather have someone that's our friend refer us somebody than just to find them off the yellow pages online or whatever. Is this true? Does anyone disagree with that? Does anyone like to get a referral from someone? So understand that this is the reason why this is so important. Because people do like to do business with people. And they prefer to be referred to someone. Which I'll get into a second, how you're going to leverage your expert authority branding to have everyone introduce you. Now some of you guys didn't know me before and were introduced by Nick, and he went through the process. If not, I will actually show you guys exactly what I do. So Mike is a real estate investment specialist, and he's investing in the relationships as much as the properties. That's his USP, which for me, really, I believe, says a lot, not only because I wrote it, but because in the real estate investment business, it's all about money, business transactions, and realtors are a dime a dozen. So I wanted something that when he meets somebody and he says, is going to make him just be like, whoa, kind of shock effect, you know? Like, I would have never heard that from a real estate investor. So he can start creating that relationship. Now he needs to learn it and he needs to start using it, otherwise it's useless. So hope that you leave here doing that. And the same thing with you, Paulo. You've got a great expert title, you just don't know it yet, and you just haven't been using it, which is the main important part of everything that I'm going to teach you guys today. I can set you up, just like I'm doing for Nick, but if you don't start applying it and you don't go out there and start putting it into your sales process, because this is a sales process, guys. Yes, it's branding, it's marketing, but in the end of the day, it's the whole point of everything that I'm creating here is to help you guys close a sale at the end of the day. That's it, plain and sweet. I don't care, I'm not interested in how great you look and how many people like you. Everything is strategically created at the end of the day to help you close that sale. And if you follow it, I promise you, as long as they're financially capable, you will close that sale. So I'm going to show you some of the actual collaterals that we create. This is obviously a profile picture. Everybody knows that every single social media has a profile. So this will be your photo. We give it to you in black and white and in color. It's up to you. We have an email signature. How many people have an email signature that has their photo on it? 2 people in the room? You don't even have a photo in the room? Why not? All right, let me ask you a better question. When you get an email from someone that you are doing business with or potentially doing business with, and they have a picture, do you like it better or not? Does anyone not like when they receive an email from someone that they're doing business or potentially doing business and it has a picture? Like, why are you sending me your picture, bro? I just want to see your name and your title. I don't want to see your picture. Does anybody get annoyed by that? No. So if we all agree in this room that we like and prefer when someone has their picture that we're about to do business and give them money or vice versa, why do we not have our picture on there? Especially when we have such a great looking group of people. Why? Think about it for a second. The coolest thing that I've gotten to experience is because every single one of my emails, every single text message, everything I do has my brand on it, just like you see here with Mike. I meet people for the first time, like physically, or like in person, and I'm like, hey, it's Ray, nice to meet you. They're like, I know you. And for a second, I'm just like, I've never met you before. And then I don't realize that they've seen my Facebook, they've seen my email, they've seen everything. Everybody knows who Ray Perez is. They know exactly what I look like, they know everything. And my video is attached to everything I do. So not only do they see my picture, they get to watch my video and they get to hear what people's experiences of working with me are. So by the time they meet me, they know me. They feel connected. They actually know me. And I've had multiple times where I'm like, where does this person know me from? And then it dawns on me, wait a second. They've been seeing, one guy told me, dude, I've seen all your emails. I've seen, the guy, I met him on Craigslist because I was buying a lens for the video production. And I've never seen the guy. I'm just, we're texting back and forth. And we show up and I'm like, hey, I'm Ray. He's like, I know who you are. I'm like, this guy's a stalker, man. Craigslist killer. And then I realized because I sent him an email and all my information and my picture was on there. So I had already created that connection with the guy. And I just met him on Craigslist earlier that day. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's something that I could be a perfect example for. Before I did it, I was same thing, just signature, Mike Benedeo, Rockwood, and then he applied all these things to all my marketing tools. I do a lot of networking. I go to a lot of events, and people now know me as Mike Rockwood. So it's something that was never. I'll be like, hey, how you doing? I'm Mike. And they're like, yeah, I know you're Rockwood, right? I'm like, oh shit, it works.
It's crazy.
So I tell them, I'm like, dude, we got to get you one because. People do know me now more as Rockwood, which is my company, but it's crazy how I shake their hand, they already know who I am. And some people will be like, hey, you clean up well. They see me sometimes like when I'm looking at houses and they'll be like, oh yeah, I know you. You're the guy in the suit in the Rockwood, right? I'm like, oh man, this thing works, you know?
Give you $100 later. So, obviously all your social medias, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Google. How many of you guys do not have all 4 of these? Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Google. Okay, which one do you not have?
I do not have like a personal brand. Are you talking for nonprofit?
Business, whatever.
Personal brand. I don't have Instagram or
Twitter, okay.
So I have, I don't have a YouTube, and I have Google, but I don't know how to work Twitter or.
You do have a Google or you don't?
I do have one, but it's not branded.
Got it. If you have Gmail, you have a Google Plus. You have it, right? So you just might never, and you also have a YouTube, by the way. Because if you have Gmail, you have a YouTube.
Oh, really?
You just haven't set your channel up. What right now is a gray bar and a little blue man with your name on it, sitting there, inactive with no videos, which I'll get into when I talk about social proof marketing, how to create really simple videos with photos and music. Very similar to what Nick has been telling you, but you can use these videos for marketing content. So if you don't have these, other than Twitter, Twitter's the only one that I'm about, but you should have all the social medias. The reason you should have all the social medias is because I don't personally use, I have a Snapchat, but I personally don't use it that much. I don't really have time to be broadcasting what I do all day, but that's my personal opinion. But if you don't have these, you want to have them because you just want to be omnipresent. Because you don't know what your client's social media preference of choice is. So if they are very big Twitter users and they can't find you on Twitter, for them, you just lost a little bit of credibility. Because Twitter's important to them. Facebook, Google, all that kind of stuff. And it's really just setting up the account, getting the brand out there, and then just getting a social media marketing person like I have or like Nick has that just maintains it. And Hootsuite, I saw that you had it on your computer. Hootsuite is, if you guys don't know about it, write down Hootsuite. That is the perfect tool to use to have all your social media scheduled and blasted out from one platform to all your social medias at the same time. And scheduled out. So I personally don't do my social media, but I do oversee my social media, and I make sure that they have 2 weeks in advance of social media posts prepared. And then as my life goes on and I do certain things, I'll put my personal posts as I'm live right here or whatever the case may be. But if I go on a trip and I'm without my cell phone in the Amazon for 2 weeks, I know my social media is all set up and I don't have to do nothing about it. And the whole thing about social media, because I really don't believe that social media makes you money directly, especially with likes and follows and all that BS. Last time I checked, you can't cash likes in the bank. I mean, I was so pissed at Bank of America. They kicked me out. But social media is a huge part of social proof. which does directly lead to trust and credibility, which does directly lead to the rapport that will help you close a sale. And that I can attest and promise. And I don't know if it's ever been shared before, but the reason I'm standing here in front of you guys and the reason that I'm working with Nick and the Millionaire Immersion is because he was watching me on social media. And all I was doing was pumping social proof, social proof, social proof, social proof, social proof out there. Just letting the world know what I do. Not eating shit and, oh, I'm here hanging out. No, no. You go to my page, unless maybe I'm at church or with my family, everything on my social media is business related. Everything on my social media is business related. I do not use social media for social purposes. I didn't get into social media for social purposes. I remember I was using MySpace back in the day to get people to the nightclubs. That's how I use MySpace and that's how I use Facebook. But I do not sit there and I'm just like Nick. Sometimes I get on there and if I scroll my finger more than 2 times on a feed, I'm like, stop, close it. I'm not going to look at this stuff. I cannot allow myself to look at it, which is also why I make sure that I hire a social media content person. That way I'm not in charge of looking social media at all. Because it's the biggest waste of time, along with emails. It's been 2 years that I don't reply to emails. I have an automatic responder. If anybody emails me right now, immediately you're going to get important in blocks in all capital letters. Important. Your message to Ray Perez has been received, but, and then there's a nice little message from me, hey, I don't actually check my emails, not for personal reasons, but for productivity reasons. If this is an important matter, you need to get in contact with me, please give me a call or text on my cell phone, 305-804-5951. And if you need any of the information, you can visit my website. Here's my link. And if you want to schedule an appointment with me, here's my calendar link right here. Immediately. So you know what ends up happening? Text message. Hey, I just sent you an email, but I realize you don't check emails. I need you to do this. Sure, take care of it. Done. And then when someone tells me 2 weeks later, I sent you an email, I said, did you get my automatic responder? Yeah. I don't check emails. Oh, okay. Well, why didn't you call me or text me? Obviously, it's not important if you didn't call me or text me. So I have figured out that I have to train people how to communicate with me. I'm serious. Because my time is so valuable. The #1 most valuable thing, and I'm not even trying to even add to what Nick is saying, this is my belief, is time. Time is the most precious, most valuable asset we have. So you need to figure out how you prefer to be communicated with in the processes, and you need to educate everyone around you how to do that. Another thing that I use, which I'll briefly touch on today, is a project management system called Trello, Trello. Write that down if you have never heard of it. Trello. Some of you guys have had experience because you work with me and I make you use it because that's the way I communicate. Trello, Trello. It's a project management system. I can list you 10 other ones. If you do not have a project management system and you work with people in your business and you work with vendors and you need to have a project management system. There's just no way around it. It's going to keep you so much more organized, it's going to keep you so much more efficient, and it's going to save you time, which time equals what? A lot of freaking money, depending on what you do. So I'm going to go back to the branding, and I'm going to talk about a digital business card for a second. Can you pull yours up and pass it around? Steph, can you grab my phone? It's right on top of the little mic stuff. Bring my phone.
Mike, drop it in the thread.
Okay, yeah, I'll Mike, drop the digital business card into the thread. I'm going to do the same thing with mine. So I'm at a network. Oh, sorry. I'm at a network. I don't like to use the word networking event because I'm not at networking events that often because I don't like them. But I meet somebody at any place. I'll use here as an example. So we're going to exchange contact information. The first thing I do is, hey, let me send you my digital business card. So if I'm going to send you my digital business card, what do I have to do? So I don't even have to ask you for your number because I'm saying, let me send you my digital business card. I'm opening up my text feed, and I purposely position myself like this so they see my phone. It's all strategic. It's all planned out. Everything that I do, what I say, the amount of time, I'm already pulling my phone out. I'm already preparing myself because I know what's going to happen. So I say, hey, let me send you my digital business card. So I go in there, and as I'm searching through my phone, just like I'm talking to you guys, and I'm multitasking, I'm searching my phone, I'm having a conversation with them. And I said, I gave up on using business cards a while ago because it's just so impersonal. And I prefer to use my digital business card just so I can create the conversation with people immediately in their text feed, like you guys all got right now. And if they don't have their phone on or it's not open, I make sure to click on it and I make sure to go like this so that they all see it. Now, oops, what happened here? Photo from somebody else. All right. Well, you guys are all pulling it up right now. But basically, the person's standing in front of me, and I'm showing my digital business card. Why? I'm only showing it for about 3 seconds. But what am I really, really doing? Creating what? Creating credibility. Because how many people do you know have a digital business card? And how many people do you know have a digital card that looks this good? So 2 things happen. Number 1, I gain credibility. Number 2, it's cool. And everybody likes things that are cool.
Yep.
And everybody likes to do business and hang out with people that are cool. So I'm cooler than everyone else in that room at that moment in time. But more importantly, what I'm really doing is I'm creating an immediate marketing connection with that person in their text feed. I don't actually expect people to get my phone number, email, or website from this card at all. I don't even expect them to read it. The only purpose of this card is for them to be like, damn, this guy's legit and cool. And then I follow up with my marketing message and my digital business card. Because, and my mobile marketing card. Now, most people here have iPhones. Anybody have Android? We know this is a good group of people because nobody has Android. Yeah, Pat? No. Good. So, you know that you guys can send a contact card in your iPhone? Do all of you guys have your contact card set up? Who has their contact card set up 100% ready to market? Anybody, come on. This was a $100 prize if you had this. Nick was going to give $100. Okay, so if you don't, everybody go to your contacts right now. I'm going to make you leave here with a digital business card ready, your contact card. The very top of your contacts, do you see my card? Perfect. No, go back.
No.
Very top of your contacts.
Wait,
Go to the very, very, very top. Perfect. Go to the very top of your contacts. You have yours. Very top of your. Go to the, yours is not set up. We have to get yours set up. Yours is not set up. Yours is. Okay. So at the very, I don't know if you guys can see it, at the very top of your contacts, it should say your name, my card. If you don't have it, we'll help you get it. When you click on that, I want you to fill this out right now. You got 60 seconds to put in all your business contact information and delete your personal. Unless your house is your business, like mine is, I just leave my apartment address, my number off, but I still put my address there because I meet people in my business center. Put all your information right now, right there. You see my number? Save my number with your name on it. That's your card. That's your contact card. So put your mobile, put your office line, if you have a fax and you're that old, read fax. If you have multiple emails, put your multiple emails, and I'm going to show you how to create all your social medias. Well, if you're in the finance and mortgage, you might use still faxes.
how do I create that?
I don't use faxes.
How do I get to where I can?
We'll have to look into that later. I don't have that much time. All right. So there's going to be something that's called custom fields. When you click on custom fields, I want you to start creating whatever social medias you use.
I think your battery's dying.
It is?
You're getting,
Check.
maybe it's just when you come here.
Yeah, maybe. So I want you to create custom field and name whatever is the actual, you know what, let me just send you everyone my contact card so you guys can copy it. Let's make this even easier. Sometimes you have to set it up, I'll help you set it up. But this is really important because this is what you're going to give people. The digital business card is just to create the relationship. This is the card you need to send people because this is all your real contact information. So when we send them a digital business card, we want to send them your actual contact card so they have your name, your title, your USP, your social medias, your text message, mobile number, whatever it is. We want to make sure that you have everything for them to connect with you. And you do not want someone to save you into their phone. You want them to save what you give them into their phone. Because otherwise you're just going to be like Ray, the guy from the networking event. Screw that. I'm Ray Perez, the branding and marketing expert that has his USP, has all his social medias and every single way to connect with him on his card. Because guess what? I know the more places I give them to check me out, what am I actually doing? I'm building more trust, more credibility. I'm getting the guy more or the girl more connected to me. So by the time I have a meeting with them to discuss what my services are, they've already bought into doing business with me. Period, plain and simple. No one ever gets to have a meeting with me that hasn't already bought into doing business with me. It's part of my process. It's all planned because it's relationship marketing. I build a relationship first. I market to them, create that connection, and then I present what I have to offer in my services. And it's funny because when I first joined Visalis and I watched the GST, and Nick talks about the 3 touches that you need to make with people before you can actually make the sale. I have been teaching about this for years, and it's actually not 3, it's actually 5 to 7 before someone really makes a buying decision. And each one of these things I'm showing you right now, consider it a touch. My goal is to have a minimum of 5 to 7 touches with that person before I present anything of what I do with a $ sign attached to it. I don't want to present any product, any service, anything they can buy from me until I have touched them at least 5 to 7 times. Because I know the chances of them actually being engaged in closing go up by 40% if I've done this first. Does this make sense, everybody? Is this helpful?
Yes.
Okay, so when we have more time, I'll help you guys all create your contact cards. I'll actually show you what the text message is that I sent to everybody. That is how I introduce myself and how I want to be introduced. So the next thing is the credibility card. This card specifically used for other people to introduce you. Now, for those of you guys that have been in Visalis, you guys all know about what edification is. And you all know about 3-way calls. And even if you're not in Visalis, you still know that there is more credibility when you introduce someone and you edify them and you build them up before you just put them on the phone with somebody else. This is the same thing when anybody, friend, coworker, new person you just met is going to introduce you. You want them to cue you up properly, because if not, you have to work backwards. You got to start doing all the rapport building. So I actually have a custom-made text message. If anyone's ever going to introduce me, I say, copy and paste this message and send my credibility card. Because my credibility card shows who I am, what I do, and talks a little bit credibility about me being in business for 10 years. I've been a marketing and branding person that helps change people's businesses, yada, 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 yada. They look at it, wow, this guy's legit, he's a real deal. And in my text message, it says, hey, I want to connect you with Ray Perez. He's a good friend of mine. He's a branding and marketing expert. I think he can be a great resource for you. You guys should connect. That's the text message. That's the image. And I do it in a 3-way text. The order of importance or value to me when I'm being introduced to someone is number 1, personal. Number 2, text message, group text message. Number 3, Facebook. And number 4, email. And I really prefer not to even be communicated through email. Like if you gotta introduce me via email, I don't even know if this guy's really gonna be a referral to me, because like you don't even really know him. So think about the way that you get introduced to people right now, and consider that. In person, number 1, group text message, number 2, private Facebook message, number 3, and email, the last one, but I really prefer not even to do that. But now, when they send that group text message and it says, hey Brian, I want you to meet Ray Perez, he's a branding and marketing expert, I think he can be a great resource for you, you guys should connect, and this mobile marketing card pops up, I've already started getting rapport. Number 1, I got a rapport because the person properly introduced me and edified me. The second rapport is my credibility card that shows who I am, trust, credibility, expert, authority, status, and then I have a pre-made message that goes in there and it says, thank you, Brian, for the introduction. Very nice to meet you, Milo. Blah, blah, blah. I think we should connect. Here's my calendar, and here's my digital business card above. And below is my contact card to save to your phone. I tell them what to do. I tell them to save my contact card to their phone. Because I know if they save my contact card to their phone, they're going to be exposed to all my social medias, all my marketing, and now I just got 1, 2, 3, 4 touches in one introduction.
You're so smart.
I've just been doing this for a really long time and spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to figure it out. Not really that smart. So when all this happens, one of the number one things that I must make people do before I meet with them, did we get those speakers by any chance? Nope, it's okay. Can we play that?
Yeah, you need a VGA cord, so.
All right, no worries, it's okay. I'll play it to you guys later. The video. I have a couple videos, but my video explains a little bit about who I am and what I do. The same way I'm speaking to you, obviously it's on video. And then I have testimonials of other people that have worked with me, which is a social proof part. That is so important that they watch this 1.5 to 2 minute video prior to meeting with me, because it sets me up to have that final piece of credibility that I can't produce by myself, which is third party. Which brings me to social proof marketing. There's 2 types of social proof marketing. Number 1, test third party, which really breaks down to testimonial base. That could be a written testimonial, that can be an audio testimonial, it could be a video testimonial, it could be a live testimonial. That's third party social proof. And the second is your personal social proof. So for example, I will broadcast a live stream of me doing an event talking about branding and marketing. I am showing social proof of what it is that I do. And guess what? I get a bunch of likes, get a bunch of comments, but out of those, all of a sudden I get somebody that says, hey Ray, I want to talk to you about branding, about doing my brand. Now, I can tie that in to the third party social proof if I'm working with the client. So if I'm closing a deal with a client and he or she doesn't have a problem being on social media, I could do a little video or a picture, it doesn't have to be a video. It's just that if you do Facebook Live promotes the shit out of you guys. So right now, take advantage, because they start building you an audience. They're saying Ray's live, and they're sending people to see your stuff, opposed to just creating a post and putting it up there. But if you don't want to do that and you just take a picture with your client, the number one thing you can do is, first of all, edify your client and tag them in the post, because we want to leverage their market. They're doing business with you already, they're happy. Obviously ask for their permission. Hey, do you mind if I tag you in a little social media post? And say, hey, just closed a multiple 6 or 7 figure deal with one of my best clients, so-and-so. You know, he's such a successful blank that does blank, 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 blank. Such a pleasure to be working with him and such an honor. Edify your client. Edify the person you're doing business with. Put all the glory on them. Post that picture. You're doing 2 things. You're giving social proof that you're doing what it is that you say that you do. You are actually edifying somebody else, which is always a good thing. People like to number 1, be acknowledged and be acknowledged. And other people like to see when other people acknowledge other people. So now you're building credibility as, man, this guy's a good guy. He's talking about his clients. And the third thing is, you've positioned yourself as the person that works for that successful client. So you've killed 3 birds with 1 stone. All of a sudden, you get a comment, a share, a like from someone that's that client's friend on Facebook, that they need a loan or they need something of your service. And this is how you start leveraging social media. Like, this is the power. Now, I'm going to tie this all back to the beginning. If that person who sees that picture with that client as a good friend of them, and now is interest, they start checking you out. They go to your Facebook page. They go to your Twitter. If you are inconsistent, you might not get that phone call. It all comes right back around, because you gained credibility because of the person you're doing business with. But that doesn't mean you're in the door. They just unlocked it for you. It's your job to be that solid brand, omnipresent everywhere, consistent, credible, with the expert title and the USP that's going to deliver WIFM, results and benefits to that person. Because if you do, now the door was unlocked with the post because of the relationship they have. Now they check you out. Now they send you the private message. Now you have a meeting with a potential client. And if you do it properly, when they send you the private message on Facebook, guess what you reply with? here's my digital business card, here's my contact information, send me a text message, let's connect. And you put them through the same process. Touch, 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 touch. They don't even see services, products, or dollar signs until they've been touched 5 or 7 times, and they've built that connection with you, and they feel like they know you, Mike from Rockwood, already, and they're already open to doing business with you. At that point, it's just presenting what you have, and hopefully they can have the funds or you can make it work. But you don't have to sell to people. And if you try not to sell and you try to build relationships, I guarantee you, you will close more than you've ever closed before. Does anybody have any questions? Was that helpful? Yeah? All right. So with that being said, am I gonna knock that again? It died, all right. I was just getting to the sales pitch and now it died, right? All right, so I obviously do offer all these services. I have 3 different packages. I can show you guys later. I don't want to take more time because I know Nick's got to come back up. If you guys are interested in helping create your expert authority brand, creating all the branding materials like you've seen, we do a lot of print materials too. These are social media marketing signs. You're going to see one over there with the Millionaire Immersion logo, which you'll be taking pictures later because I'm going to be using you guys as social proof. But basically, these signs are super powerful because photos and video are obviously the most engaging media that we have to get our business out there. But if we just took a photo of everybody together and wrote whatever you wrote, it's just a bunch of people in a room and we're just saying whatever we want to talk. But if we have signs like this, there's no way that people can disconnect the fact that there's social proof to this company or that there's social proof to this person. And I know some of you guys might be like, oh, that's cheesy, whatever. Listen to me. We're all human beings. I don't care how much money you make. I don't care what car you drive. We're all human beings. We all like the same stupid cat videos on YouTube, and we all like the same dumb stuff. And everybody knows what this sign is, and everybody knows what this sign is. As cheesy as it may look and seem, you will feel more, you will connect with more people, you will feel more relatable than you've ever been possible, and people now will feel that they can open up and connect with you, which is what you want. Because you don't want to try to sell people. You want to try to build as many relationships as you can, and you want people to feel that you're a good, trustworthy, quality person that they want to do business with. And this will actually help you create that social proof, because if someone holds this sign up, there's no way, they say a picture speaks 1,000 words. But when you put this in their hand, it speaks a whole lot more, because there's no way they can't say that they love Ray Perez. Period, end of story. And now that becomes social media gold. And one event with multiple people with 2 different signs can be 10 pictures that now is 2 or 3 weeks of your social media marketing. Don't ever feel like, oh my God, that event already passed. Who cares that event passed? I post pictures of events from 3 months ago. As long as that's a good quality photo and it gives me social proof, that's going on social media. And every time I do that, I get more and more and more exposure. I get more credibility. And consider this, it's a dripping process. It's a dripping process. Just like Nick was watching me, and finally when the time was right for him, he hit me up on social media. I know he had my cell phone in his phone, but he didn't even look for it. He hit me up on social media because he was watching me on social media. He saw a post at some event that I was hosting, something like this, and he said, hey dude, I've been seeing what you were doing, want to connect with you, want to talk to you about an idea that I have. Let's meet up and let's do dinner. And then he went through the rapport building process with me, letting me know what's going on, what his plan is, what he's doing, what my interests. He asked me what I'm up to, and that's how I ended up being here. Same process. So what I'm teaching you guys today is what I've been doing, how I've been getting multiple clients, I've been closing multiple deals. I've been doing this for over 10 years. I've obviously refined the process very, very good over the last 10 years, and I have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars figuring this stuff out. What works, what doesn't work, what is effective, what's going to get more engagement, how to position certain things, when and where to use them, all of it. So you guys have the opportunity to implement this from one day to the next, and you will see results. Just like Mike was saying about the email, the digital business card presentation, all the social proof and the credibility and the marketing materials, you will see immediate return the moment you put it up there. So I will show you guys all the different packages and everything I have for anyone who's interested after the event. I'll be here obviously tomorrow as well. If you guys have any questions, I got 5 minutes, 3 minutes, break when you're done, and then we're gonna break. So does anybody have any questions? You know what happens when no one has any questions?
Did a really good job.
Thanks.